Right now it's announcement time. It's announcement time, guys. We're going to start the show in a couple of minutes. Get ready for some comedy. Get your White Claws out of the refrigerator and your popcorn. Yeah, I don't know what you're eating. I'm going to have candy corn and Peachios later, but I'll see you guys in a couple of minutes for some comedy. Bye.
Your body may be gone, I'm gonna carry you in my head, in my heart, in my soul. And maybe we'll get lucky and we'll both live again. Well, I don't know, I don't know, I don't know, don't think so. Well, that is that and this is this. You tell me what you want and I tell you what you get away from me. You get away from me. Collected my belongings and I left the jail. Well, thanks for the time, had to think a spell, had to think a while, had to think a while. The ocean breeze salty, won't you carry it in your head, in your mouth, in your soul? And maybe we'll get lucky and we'll both grow old. Well, I don't know, I don't know, I don't know, I hope so. Well, that is that and this is this. You tell me what you want and I tell you what you get away from me. You get away from me. Collected my belongings and I left the jail. Well, thanks for the time.
Did I move the microphone around a bunch? I hope I didn't. Hello, everybody. I just remembered right now what we were doing here. I was just hanging out with Jesse. We were listening to some music, but we're here to do the Stab Weekly, or whenever we feel like it, social distancing comedy showcase. There we go. I said all the words for you. And this week, I don't really have any. I don't have any news about the pandemic or quarantine. I do want to point out, though, that today apparently I decided to dress like the wall behind me. I can see it. I can see it on the camera. I didn't know I was dressing like the wall behind me when I put on this shirt. This is the shirt that I work in every day. I shouldn't have said every day, but it's the shirt I work in every day from home. I didn't know it was the same color as the backdrop here at Stab. So this is officially my Stab shirt. If you want to get a shirt that looks just like the wall at Stab, they sell them at Old Navy, apparently. And this is my, I let my hair dry in the car on the way here because it's 100 degrees out here. So that's today's outfit. Thank you for coming, everybody, so far. Looks like definitely Morty's here. Janae's always here. Joe hasn't joined yet, so we can get a couple of minutes of comedy in before the heckling starts. Online heckling, it turns out, is much worse than in-person heckling. I don't know if you guys have noticed that. People will say literally anything in the comments, but not affecting me. I'm doing great. Still have a job, still gainfully employed. Gilbert's moving in, so caught me that. Doing pretty good. But I know what you're thinking, though. You're like, oh, Skip Bacon, she just has it so together, and her life is so amazing. You're not wrong. But one of the things you may not know about me, I know Jesse doesn't because I've never told Jesse, is that I actually suffer from a really serious condition, and it's an overwhelming condition, and it's a wildly out of control condition. It's this condition where I have so much confidence in myself that it really, really, really gets in the way of things. Like, I have all the confidence in the world that I can do everything, anything, and I have no proof. I have no proof that I can do things. And it really only starts to become evident that I suffer from this condition when I try to play sports. The best example of this is when I played golf in high school, and I was in a golf three-way. Don't Google golf three-way, by the way. Like, it's not going to be what you think. It's just when like three people get together and play golf. Morty and Mrs. Morty know what a golf three-way. I don't know if that's what they call them. I hope that's not what they call them. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I was in a golf three-way, and I was in high school. And I love playing golf. My enthusiasm for golf is off the charts. I won the Enthusiasm Award 3 years in a row. But despite this overwhelming enthusiasm, I have absolutely no aptitude for golf. Like, I can't play golf I have no skill for the sport at all. And because of this overwhelming enthusiasm, they let me play for all 4 years of high school. But because of this complete lack of talent, they only let me play against freshmen and middle school girls my entire high school career. So this golf menage a trois started out like all of them with 3 underage girls. But this one started to get super weird, though, when one of the girls' dad showed up. And he didn't just show up. He came out onto the tee, and he teed this girl's ball up, and it was a blinking ball, and it was even beeping. And I was like, what the hell? Like, I'm terrible at golf. My coach is already drinking mimosas in the clubhouse. I cannot have a coach on the field. And this chick he's pointing to the sand traps. He's angling her. And I'm like, what the hell is going on here? And I am just about to lose it because this girl is getting all of the coaching that I obviously needed. I'm about to go off. And the third partner, as our third partner in this three-way, comes rolling up on a freaking golf cart. I'm hauling my chubby ass around that golf course with my clubs, and this chick rolls up in a freaking golf cart, and I'm about to just go off. I'm about to go off on all of them. This chick has a coach. This chick has a golf cart. Just as the girl in the golf cart comes up, I'm about to go off. I'm just gonna lose it. As she comes up to the tee, she spins her legs out of the golf cart. And the girl is in a cast, not a cast on her foot, not a cast on her toe, but a cast from her toes all the way up to her waist. Chick rolls out. And I was like, whew, really glad I didn't go off on that chick about how she is a golf cart. Oh, man. But I'm still pissed about this chick with a coach. And I was about to go off on her. And I was about to tell her, this chick with her coach, when the girl goes, man, she's so brave. Being a freshman and being blind. It's so nice her dad comes to all these what the fuck? So not only did this girl inform me that the third person in our three-way was blind, but she's also 4 years younger than me. And as they both outscored me by easily 14 strokes each, I took some solace in knowing that the blind girl who beat me by so much that she got a ribbon. She would never see that ribbon, but she got a ribbon. And that the girl in the cast beat me by so much, she got a small trophy, which I knew she could never stand to receive. So that gave me some. And what you would think is, Skip Bacon, after this incident, you would never play sports again. But you were wrong, folks, because this condition I have of overwhelming confidence in myself led me to, in my mid-20s, begin racing BMX. And I don't know if you know what happens when you're such a specific niche, which is a woman in her let's just say I was in my late 20s, began racing BMX, but I was a rookie. I had never played before. I had never raced before. So they had to put me in a rookie class. And do you know what a rookie class looks like? Well, I can tell you what it looks like in this instance. It was me on a tiny bike surrounded by a bunch of 8-year-olds on tinier bikes. But I was so proud of myself. I was so ready to do it that I brought my friend Hannah. She videotaped the whole thing like a proud adult female cheerleader would in the stands. And I got ready to go. And as soon as that gate dropped on my very first race, I immediately crashed into an 8-year-old in front of me. completely encapsulating his body underneath of mine. And as the 8-year-olds behind me came up on this incident, a wildly more talented 8-year-old proceeded to ride over my back. So as I began to peel myself off of the 8-year-old under me, another 8-year-old rode over me. And when he smashed my face into the ground, he cut both of my hands open, bleeding like the freaking stigmata. I tried to pull myself up off of this 8-year-old, but I was now concussed, and the only thing I could think of is that the EMTs are about to come and get me. And my mom always told me that I assume she told me it for tornado season. I don't know why she told me, but she always said, if the EMTs are going to have to come and get you, make sure you're wearing clean underwear in case they have to cut your pants off and everyone will see your dirty underwear. So all I could think of at this exact moment was that I wasn't wearing clean underwear. Like, I wasn't wearing dirty underwear, but they weren't like super clean. And so I started screaming, concussed, bleeding like the stigmata on top of an 8-year-old to my friend Hannah in the stands, who had already started racing towards me, as had the 8-year-old's parents started racing towards me. And I yelled to Hannah loudly enough for everyone, even the announcer at the race, to hear me. I started yelling, "Hannah, I'm not wearing clean underwear. Don't let them cut off my pants. I'm not wearing clean underwear," which caused my friend Hannah to politely sit back down and remain anonymous in the stands. This poor kid's parents ran even faster to me. The EMTs did come. They were mostly concerned about that kid, less concerned about me not having on clean underwear. And I know what you're thinking. That's it. That's the end of Skip's career. But it was not the end of Skip's career, because I had great enthusiasm. That kid was fine. He's fine. He survived fine. And I continued racing without any signs of improvements for months. And you're thinking, this is it, Skip. This is how you learn that you're just not good at things, and this confidence should know. Because my enthusiasm, partnered with me being a weird niche of a 26-year-old on a BMX bike, I got offered some sponsorships by some major racing companies. So this just leads me to what I think is really important for people to understand, is that 90% of really going after something is enthusiasm. 10% is skill, but hear me out, men. That 10% is really important. I think you should remember that. Anyway, that was just me. I know I seem super successful, but I do actually have a really serious condition that affects mostly people who have to watch me play sports. But now we're going to watch some other people tell us some jokes, and the next person up, Mr. Jack Scotty. I don't have that incorrect, right? No, nailed it. Mr. Jack Scotty, everybody.
Hi, I'm sitting here from a found footage video. If you don't know why, watch the news. But yeah, coronavirus going around. Got a couple coronavirus jokes. Gotta do them, because when it's gone, jokes won't matter. So I live at home. My mom started making us take off our shoes when we come in the house, because apparently the virus can be tracked in on your shoes. And I don't know, virus came from China. I feel like if there's one group of people that would have figured out taking your shoes off was the right move, it would have been China. I don't know, man. World's changed a lot with coronavirus going around. Duh. But you know, I don't know. It's changed a lot. Like, you can't go outside. You can't like get in gatherings with big people. You gotta wash your hands a lot more. And now it's suddenly okay to call the cops on black people having a barbecue in the park. So lots changed. I don't know. I feel like sitting at home, I've been watching a lot of documentaries and stuff. I feel like I'm learning a lot at this time. Like, I found out that in Africa, they paint eyes on the back of their heads, so that lions don't sneak up and get them from behind, because they do that. But ever since they started drawing eyes on the back of their heads, there's been a huge increase in lion attacks from the side. I don't know. I found out that they eat blowfish in Japan, which is crazy. But it's super weird, because like, if you eat blowfish, it's super poisonous. And it has to be prepared a very certain way, otherwise it'll kill you. But that means that, like, at some point in time, someone caught a blowfish, cooked it up, ate it, died. Someone else is like, still looks pretty good. Yeah. Let's see, I don't know. I found out that newspapers have been around since the 1600s, which means that every major American war has been reported about in a newspaper. And that's just crazy to think that Garfield used to hate Mondays and taxation without representation. Yeah, I don't know. I also found out Mount Everest, there's a ton of dead bodies up there. So many. Just so many dead bodies. Of the people that didn't make it, like the people that made it, they're fine. But I don't know. They can't get them down. There's just too many people. And I don't know. I feel like if you're on your way up to the top of the mountain, like even if you make it, I feel like seeing the dead body really kind of diminishes that accomplishment. Diminishes? Is that how you say it? Diminishes this accomplishment. But it's just weird. Like, I don't know. I feel like if you were on your way to Starbucks and halfway there you saw a dead guy, just wouldn't taste the same. Probably wouldn't taste the same. That macchiato. That's how you botch it. This is how you bomb without an audience. I'm sorry. I don't know, man. But there are a ton of dead bodies. I feel like they can't get them down. It's too dangerous. And I feel like if there's one group of people that should want to get those bodies down, it's people that sell climbing gear. Because it's just not a good look for Patagonia if, like, there's someone froze to death in their jacket. So, I don't know. Like, if I worked for Patagonia, I'd hire someone. I'd be like, all right, your job is to go up that mountain. Anytime you see someone freezing to death wearing Patagonia, I want you to hand them this North Face jacket. Yeah. Don't know. I'll end with this. Hopefully it's good. Oh no, I'm getting a light, so guess I gotta wrap it up there. We'll end with this. One more. Okay. I had a hickey on my neck the other day, and my girlfriend was like, hey, if anyone asks what that is, just tell them it's a mosquito. A mosquito did it. And I was like, okay. So then my mom was like, hey, what's that on your neck? And I was like, oh, it's a mosquito gave me a hickey. So yeah, I don't know. That's it for me. Bye. Stay safe.
That was Jack Scotty, everybody. Did you guys remember Jack Scotty's jokes for that? I forgot about the blowfish joke. I fucking love that joke. I don't even think I had heard the newspaper Garfield jokes. I definitely had not heard about hickeys, Jack Scotty. Too much information. I don't know why I don't want to hear about Jack Scotty's hickeys. Because he's so adorable. Somebody's sucking on his neck. Anyway, I like Jack Scotty's joke. Don't apologize. Everybody, I've never heard so many apologies in the middle of live open mic sets that definitely should have been apologized for. Don't apologize, Jack Scotty. You're funny. Check him out. I'm going to see if I can get him to do more of his jokes because he has really good jokes. We'll work on how many times he says sorry because you don't got to be sorry for being so funny. What else? Oh, my God. I love Jack Scotty. Thanks for doing that. I know how hard it is for everybody doing these jokes into a computer screen or into a phone is super weird. Stephen Ferris seems to have no problem with it. And you know who else doesn't? He's not next. I know I made it sound like he was coming up next. I was just thinking of people who don't mind talking into cameras with no one behind them. He'll dance into it, too. But you know who's another person who's doing really good with all this quarantine comedy? It's Mr. Morty, the Mortician. He is doing amazing, and he wrote some more jokes. These are brand new, so hold on. If you're thinking, oh, I know his jokes, I know how they go, I can start like drinking soda. You can't. Put your soda down. He's writing new stuff, and it's going to catch you off guard, just like it does me every time. So are you guys ready? Are you ready, Jesse? He's super ready. His face lit up. Morty the Mortician.
Hi, everybody. My name is Morty Stein, but you may know me as Morty the Mortician. And it's good to be here on the social distancing open mic put on through Stab Comedy. To be completely honest, I wasn't sure if I was going to submit a set this week because it's been busy. I guess some of you can say that I've been buried in my work this week. When I work as a mortician, I always treat the deceased with respect because speaking of the deceased, that would be a grave mistake. People have asked me before. They said, hey Morty, what is your favorite part of working with the bodies? And I have to say that my favorite part is embalming and cosmetizing, doing cosmetic work for the decedents. That's kind of one of my favorite things, and I think that I'm pretty good at it because I've had families say that the deceased looks drop dead gorgeous. The other day I was driving in Sacramento. I do a lot of driving from my work, as you might imagine. I had to go into Sacramento, and one of the things that I noticed is not only is there more cars on the road because the stay-in-place orders are kind of getting a little bit lax, but I've also noticed that since they passed the hands-free cell phone laws, I see more people talking on their cell phones. I don't know if you have, but it's just something that I see quite a bit. Also, with all the driving that I do, yeah, I see some pretty weird things. I've seen gentlemen shaving. I've seen women doing their hair and makeup, but I guess they can kind of multitask. But I did see something kind of weird the other day. I saw this truck that was in front of me on the freeway. In the back of this truck, he had an American flag, a Confederate flag, a Trump sticker, a Second Amendment sticker, and a NRA sticker on the back of his truck. My first thought was, wow, I bet you this guy bleeds red, white, and blue. What a true patriotic American that loves his country. But as I got closer, his truck was a Toyota Tacoma. Not so much of an American, is it? Kind of excited about this year coming up. There's a lot of milestones in my life coming up. In just a few months, Mrs. Morty and I are going to celebrate our 30th wedding anniversary. 30 years. When I first met Mrs. Morty, I wasn't a mortician. I was going to mortuary school to study to be a mortician. I kept asking her out. She kept turning me down. As a matter of fact, I think her exact words were, "Over my dead body." And that kind of upset me and kind of confused me at the same time because she was sending me mixed signals. And what I mean by that is, when you say "over my dead body" to a mortician, yeah, that's like a really sexy pickup line. Wow, 30 years. We had a really nice wedding ceremony in the wintertime. It was January. It was one of the coldest days of the year. And they say that when you plan a wedding, you should expect about 10% no-shows. For example, if you invite 100 people, about 90 will show up. Ours was a little bit different. We actually invited 70, and 72 showed up. Don't know who those wedding crashers were. Maybe I'll have to look into that someday. But anyway, married 30 years. I love Mrs. Morty. I would do anything for Mrs. Morty. I'd even take a bullet for her. But then I'd probably critique and criticize her driving on the way to the hospital. Our wedding was great. We had a really good time with family and friends. During the ceremony, everything was going great until we got to the vows. And what I mean by that was because what I heard and what I said was basically two different things. Here, let me explain. So during the wedding ceremony, what I heard was, "With this ring, I thee wed, and with all my earthly goods, I thee endow." But what came out of my mouth was something a little bit different. What came out of my mouth was, "With this ring, I thee wed, and with all my earthly goods, I be endowed." Yeah, little slip of the tongue there. I said, "I be endowed." Bridesmaids were high-fiving Mrs. Morty. Preacher was just kind of like, yes, tried to high-five and fist bump. But it was great. 30 years. 30 years. Can't wait for 30 more. Babe, lived that long. How old am I now? It might not work. Anyway, we'll see. You know, I know a lot of people during this pandemic have been working from home. I unfortunately don't have that luxury. Being an essential business, I have to be at work. But I was kind of thinking, what would it be like if I actually worked from home? Probably have to do my embalming on the kitchen table. I don't think Mrs. Morty would go for that. I tried doing a cremation via Zoom. Didn't work out because I really couldn't get my computer to heat up to 1100 degrees. Maybe I'll have to repurpose my grill. Maybe that'll work. Also, if I wanted to do a burial, I can bring them home. I can bury them in my backyard. Just set up some headstones and my neighbors will think it's just a cute Halloween display. Yeah, there's an idea. Well, anyway, I'm going to get out of here. I've got some more things to do. Thanks for having me on. And I'm just Morty the Mortician. Just a working stiff, making a killing in a dead-end job. Be safe, everybody. See you soon.
Are those new? Are the puns at the end new? I don't remember those puns at the end. Morty, note to self, I'm never going to a barbecue at that man's house. You repurposed a grill? Morty, also, is that true? Did he say 1100 degrees? Okay, I know Zoom doesn't get to that, but is that really how much it is, 1100 degrees? Also, is that true? Did you really mess up your wedding vows? Because Mrs. Morty, I think we've mentioned it on this show numerous times. Mrs. Morty is a fox. She is a foxy lady. And if you messed up those vows and she still managed to, I don't know, man. That lady is a fox. Anyway, I'm going to stop the portion of the show that I call Hitting on Mrs. Morty and move on to the next comedian, if that's okay with you guys. And thanks, Morty. I think those were all new at the end. You remember? I don't know. Jesse doesn't remember. I think those were all new at the end, and I pretend like they're all new for me, but I'm sure that we'll get to see Mr. Morty, Morty the Mortician, being on stage and doing a big, long show for everyone. But for now, I'm just going to pretend that he writes those new puns for me every week. I love them. Thank you for doing it. And I'll try to cut down on my talking about how much Mrs. Morty is a fox segment of the show next time. I'll see how I do. But in the meantime, we'll bring on another fox. Are you guys ready for this next one? I can see him. Oh, he looks foxy. There he is, Mr. Robert Barry.
Oh, hey. Hi, everybody. I'm Robert Barry, and glad you're here. Glad you're here. Yeah, wow. I saw the post office is real bad news there. The post office is changing all their forever stamps. Now they just changed them to Thursday. A lot of Sacramento today. They're doing soft openings. A lot of restaurants back in action, back dine in, you know. And I'm a little worried though. Arkansas, they did a soft opening a couple weeks ago, and they found out after the soft openings in Arkansas, they increased rate of infections, more infections due to the soft openings. Of course, any soft opening in Arkansas is bound to give you an infection. We've known that for years. But I think we should open up businesses slowly. Slowly. That's it. Yeah. Now flip that closed sign over so it says open. Yeah, that's what I like. I don't know. I'm not telling no tales here. It's you're home. We're all gaining some weight. That's no surprise, but I don't know. Everybody's been relaxing. My car's been inactive for so long, I had to loosen its timing belt. Murderers are staying home. The crime rate's down. You know, like it's really screwing up our future supply of true crime podcasts. You know, it's not going to be any true crime podcast 10 years from now when we're looking back at this time. They're going to be all boring, like he stood 4 feet next to her, or Dick's out on the Zoom call, or Comedians that reported drink tickets as lost income to EDD. My friend challenged me to post 10 album covers because apparently that's what counts as a challenge these days. We are truly the greatest generation. What, you hear about these murder hornets? Woo! We had killer bees, now there's murder hornets. What's next? Genocide beavers? Herpes hippos? Peckers. These are rule of three. Things are funnier when you say them in a group of three, I hope. Disneyland is going through some tough times, and they're going to be reopening Disneyland soon. They're going to change some of their attractions to better reflect today's times. Like they've got Honey, I'm Sick of the Kids, or No Tomorrowland, the Hall of Irrelevant Fast Pass Machines, or It's a Doomed World, or let's not forget, I'm looking forward to the It Doesn't Matter horn. Yeah. I've been writing a lot during this time, and I'm proud to say I'm 50 words into my new book, Robert Berry Gives Up After 50 Words. I writing so much, I'm trying to build my vocabulary, and each day you get a new word. Maybe it's not a word you use in everyday, conversation, but it helps build your vocabulary, helps you be a better writer, better speaker, maybe a better comedian too. Comedians that can say more than knock knock who's there are going to get farther than those that are bound to just telling knock knock jokes. And I got a word recently, bandersnatch, you had to use the word bandersnatch in a sentence. So I thought, my friend keeps taking her panties off on Facebook, so they bandersnatch.
With Bandersnatch, I wasn't ready for any of that. I don't. Oh man, it doesn't matter horn. Were you guys listening? Do you get that? It doesn't matter horn. You get it. I think you get it. I think I say, do you get it a lot with puns? My favorite is when I go, oh my god, do you get it? And then I look at Jesse, who clearly got it before it even ended. I love puns. Were those all puns? I love them. Fucking, I can't. It doesn't matter horn. That's hilarious. I also think it's really funny to think that there won't be any true crime documentaries because I'm really into true crime. And that's how I can tell I've been feeling a little bit better lately, because usually I soothe myself to sleep with a little Law and Order SVU. It's especially heinous, and I love it. But when all this pandemic started, I was like, oh, it's too dark. I need some USA shows. I don't know, like Psych or Monk or something. But now I'm back. I'm feeling myself again. So back to watching the Law and Order SVU and reading darker things on the internet. And to Robert Berry's point, there will still be true crime, because I don't know how many of you read about this. I don't know how many of you can handle reading literally anything the internet has to say or show. But one of the true crime things that happened is that there was this guy who was at work via a Zoom call, and his son walked in and stabbed him and killed him during the Zoom call. Stabbed him, killed him. He dropped from the screen, at which point his coworkers were like, yo, where's Steve? And somebody's like, I think he got stabbed. Like, they didn't actually catch it. They weren't really sure what they were seeing, and it happened quickly. And they're like, I think he got stabbed. Well, apparently this guy who stabbed him, his kid, didn't realize he was on Zoom. So started cleaning shit up while the Zoom call was still going on. And at one point he had cleaned up enough stuff that he thought, okay, now I need to get rid of these clothes. So he took his clothes off and then went to throw the clothes with his dad and wrap his dad up and drag his dead body. It just got dark. But and that's when they saw the naked son walk into the Zoom screen, and they all were like, oh my God, call the police. And then they called the police on the naked son, and the police came and apprehended the naked Zoom murderer. So we will still have true crime documentaries because people are just going to be dumb as the day is long for as long as the day is. Forever stamps just say Thursday. I can't with this right now. Hilarious. Thank you, Robert Berry. I'm so glad you guys sent in jokes tonight. I needed this. Let's see. I hope you needed it too. Doesn't faze me if you don't. I'm looking at my list of who's up next. I also wrote down my favorite funny things so far, and it is super weird. Oh, this is the first week. Robert Berry said everybody's getting fat. This is the first week I didn't get fat, but then Laura sent me some treats. So next week these pants won't fit. Is Mr. Stephen Ferris up next? Okay, here's what we did to try and help people, because as of last 2-3 weeks ago, when I had to record a lecture and I realized how weird it is to talk to an audience that's normally there, and when they're not there, I thought maybe it would be helpful if I put on a little mask and did some social distancing and walked to the comedians in my neighborhood and gave them a live but socially distanced audience. So me and Gilbert put on some masks and walked down to our neighbors and gave them a live audience. So this next clip features me and Gilbert standing outside of Mr. Stephen Ferris's front door watching Mr. Stephen Ferris tell jokes. So here you go. You'll get to see the whole thing just like I did live right now.
Woo! What do you guys want to do? Now I can ask that because I actually never.
We do have an audience.
Yeah.
Came down here to watch some door-to-door comedy. This is our second stop on the comedy tour.
Okay. All right. Cool. Well, I'll tell you guys some door-to-door jokes then. All right. Well, there's a lot of different things I could talk about, but I have this one joke that I kind of rewrote actually a little bit.
It's in the notebook.
It's in the notebook because all right. So my hair was kind of messed up the other day. I guess it is today too, but it was worse the other day, and people were like, "Dude, did you get in a fight? Like, what happened?" And so I just told them, I was like, "Yeah, but you should see the lawnmower." Let's just say he's not going to be cutting any grass for a while. Because it's kind of hard to cut grass when you're buried 6 feet underneath. Yeah. Oh yeah, it works better the way I rewrote it. See, I don't think I've done this joke on here yet. You guys like going to parties and stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah? Party people?
Yeah. I like to
All
party.
right. Okay. Right on. They're doing devil horns. I like to go to a party once in a while, and I don't know. I've got like a couple of crazy party stories. Like this one is like, I don't know. I got invited to this party, and I went there, and like it was a really hot day. So like it was like today, it's really hot, and everybody there was just getting really thirsty. And for some reason, it's like this was a big party. There were like probably 400 or 500 people there.
Whoa.
Yeah, and I don't know who planned this party, but for some reason, the only thing that they had provided to drink was one bowl of punch. That was it. And so it's hot, people were thirsty, so everybody is trying to get to this bowl. And to make it even worse, there was another line next to that for the salt lick. And I didn't want to make that mistake again because that was part of how I got so thirsty in the first place. And so I made sure to ask somebody. I was like, "Hey, is this the punchline?" And maybe that's what you guys are wondering right now too. Yeah. So dumb. What else should I throw on here? What I got? we got interrupted by a call. Okay. We've got a request for a joke here. Do you guys like, you guys religious at all?
Little bit,
I'm
little
a
bit.
theologian. And you guys watch, like, movies?
Tons.
Tons, especially right now with the pandemic. Do you guys ever watch any movies about, like, Jesus Christ or anything like that?
Some.
Some? Alright.
Some.
You like them?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay. Alright.
Yeah.
Well, because I have an idea for a movie about Jesus that, I mean, if I ever got into, like, the film industry or something like that, might be fun to try to make it. And I think for people who are, like, on the fence, like you guys, about Jesus movies, like, I really think that this would change that. So basically, the title, or the working title of the movie is He is Resin, which is a play on words. You know, He is risen, He is resin. And the reason for the play on words, third play on words, is because I'm going to steal the plot from Jurassic Park.
Okay.
So some scientists are going to find a piece of amber or resin with a mosquito that they believe was present at the Last Supper. And so they, through cloning, they bring back Jesus Christ from the DNA that they find in this mosquito, and they build a whole theme park where you can go and you go through and you look up on the hill, and there's Jesus up on the hill, and you can watch him eat a goat. And what happens after that? Well, the power goes out, and Jesus escapes from his pen, along with all of the disciples. So basically what you would do is, like, Jesus would be the T-Rex, and then the disciples would be the Velociraptors.
Right.
Except then it would be the Velocirapture. And they'd go terrorizing all the people on the island, and it end pretty much the same way as Jurassic Park does, but it's Jesus. And, you guys want to know how I came up with the idea for that joke?
Yes.
I noticed how the T in T-Rex kind of looks like a cross.
There. Yeah. Mhm. Yeah.
And I was like, oh. And see, that's 3 minutes too. So now we're at 6 though. Okay, well, that's the end of my performance tonight.
That's where it ends. That's where Mr. Stephen Ferris is. That was a live set for me. I got to see that live. So did the guy next door who was using the weed whacker for the majority of the. I swear to God, they watched us walk up to the house and we're like, oh, they look like they're doing something. I want to cut this fucking lawn. How'd you like it? Velociraptor? Guys, Jurassic Park, one of my top 5 favorite movies of all time. And then Jesus, one of my top 5 saviors of all time. I don't know. I know a lot about him. So you put those two together and you get Mr. Stephen Ferris's joke about turning Jesus into like an amusement park like Jurassic Park. And then I like how the power goes out, and that's the thing that releases Christ onto these people, is that the power went out. So the fences went down. The fences that kept T-Rex, Jesus in. I just want to break it down and make sure you guys heard all of that, because it's one of my favorite theological jokes. It's just you guys caught the Velociraptor? No, I think they caught it. Okay. Thank you, Mr. Stephen Ferris. The last set we have for you of the evening is another set that I got to see live from a safe distance with a mask. So if you are thinking about doing a set, but you're thinking, man, sets go way better when Skip is physically there listening, because some of the stay-at-home stuff has been lifted, I am more likely to drive some places, like here, I walked to Luke and Steven's house. But if you need a live audience in order to help you want to do more comedy, I will come to your front door and watch you do comedy from your front door also. I'd just like to throw that offer out there. I will put a mask on and a hat, as you will see in the next set, and I will come to your house and safely from your front door watch you do comedy. If that's something you need, if that's a way I can support the community right now, I will do that for you. Also because I like jokes a lot, and it's a good thing to do at lunchtime. So if you need help telling some jokes and you want me to laugh along with you, I would love to do that for you. Especially if it's puns. If it's puns, I'll probably bring you lunch. Also, real hard up for puns because I don't know how to make them. And Hanukkah is backing a pun making. Seems like a workshop. It's a game, but a pun-making workshop for me and Alex to use to help up our pun game. So I may have some really good puns coming your way. But in the meantime, I do have one of our favorites. Luke Soyan did a set for me and Gilbert today, and we're going to share it with you now. So please welcome Mr. Luke Soyan.
Hey guys, thank you so much for being here. There's literally people here. Skip's here.
Yay!
Can you believe it?
No.
And Gil.
Yeah.
And wait, I forgot her name.
Spice.
already. Spice, the dog. You guys should see a photo of this dog. She smiles. She's ready for anything. She looks like she's sitting on a roller coaster right before it starts. That's what her default smile face is. Okay, so I was watching. I'm just gonna get into it. Keep it going for all the comics you've seen so far, whatever. Anyway, so I was watching the new Penny Dreadful show with my family on Showtime. Do you know Penny Dreadful?
Yeah.
So it's like a really cool horror show. The name is based on, like, they used to have these little books that were called Penny Dreadfuls because they were like a penny and they were dreadful and they were like horror, like schlock, kind of like Pulp Fiction-y type things in the 1800s. Yeah. So the original series is about like Frankenstein and Dracula's and the devil and like all this crazy stuff. And this new one is set in LA. And none of this is really that important for the joke I'm going to tell. But anyways, it's a good show. You should check it out. The new one's not as good just because it's good if you're like into political racial tensions in 1930s Los Angeles, but it doesn't have very much supernatural stuff. There's like 2 goddess characters and that's it. There's no like monsters really. Anyways, it's still cool. And there's a scene where people are talking and they're doing this thing, like in movies where people will like, and they'll like go over here and they'll talk like this way, and they'll just be like, and I don't understand, Julia, why you did that to me. And then, like, Julia's always back here, like, listening. But, like, have you ever tried to talk to someone facing the wrong way? Like, you could never hear. You're like, really, it would be like Julia's like, what? I didn't hear you. Like, that's not emotional. That's awkward. Don't do that. It looks cool maybe on camera or on a stage play, but that's because everyone's projecting, It doesn't work. So that's that joke. There's also, I don't know if you guys live here, like around this neighborhood, and there's a guy like 2 or 3 blocks that way who's kind of his house is on the corner, and he has like his truck parked on his lawn. Have you seen this house?
Yes.
Yeah. Have you seen this? Yes. You guys have seen this in the news. Yeah. No. And it's like, it's so weird because he has a perfectly good driveway that I think it might have a boat in it, but like he could, move. I don't know. And there's all this space like around his house to park the car, but he's like, no, I'm parking on the lawn, which I know it's his lawn, but it still feels like he's parked on my lawn somehow. It's like, dude, what? You don't have to swing your dick at me. Like, I live 3 blocks away. Like, it feels like he's parked on my lawn. I don't even own a house. I rent from my roommate who owns a house. Like, I haven't talked to her about it, but we should start a petition maybe. Do you guys want to sign it?
Oh, yeah. Yes.
We'll get Stephen Ferris to sign
He'll
it.
sign it. He'll definitely sign it.
Park that stupid Dodge Ram on the street where it belongs. It's just weird. It's like you think the kind of guy who would park his truck on his lawn is also the kind of guy who's really into his lawn. So I'm really confused. He's a wild card to me. Like, I don't know what he's doing. Okay, well, I don't know if this is just funny to you guys because you know this or. Okay. I'm just gonna go through my recent notes and I don't know. So this is sad, but pets don't last forever, and we bury them in our backyards. I know, Spice, don't listen. Nacho, don't listen. He's looking out the window. And but they don't, and people bury them in the backyard. But like eventually, a white family's gonna move in and build a pool, and then what are your pets? Why do you bury them? Like cremate them and put them in a necklace. You know, take them with you. I don't leave them in the backyard for the Smiths to dig up and cannonball into. Like that's. I don't know. It would be really funny though if this family moved in, they built a pool, and then like a year after they built it, the kids are swimming, and they just hear like like a ghost, and like there's always barking under the water. What is that? I don't know. All right. Bagpipes are the restaurants are opening, and I went to one that was they had less tables than normal, I guess. I've never been there, so I don't really know. Maybe they were lying. But they were socially distancing the outside, and they had a bagpipe guy walk in. It's someone's birthday, and the birthday people were definitely not distancing. They were just all close to each other. It was weird. There was an orgy happening on the blacktop. No. But anyways, they were all close together. And but this guy walked in, like out of nowhere. We were just hanging out, having fun, and this guy he's just like... And it's like, you know, it's kind of cool because like I don't know if I could do that. It's hard probably, but also it's noise. It's not music, and the one cool thing about it is when you're playing bagpipes, no one can tell when you mess up.
Yeah.
Because it all sounds like messing up. The whole thing is, it's like if you put a bag, like a cat in a bag, and you were just like shooting BBs at it. Like it's the same noise. It's the same noise. I don't know why I'm being so mean to pets in this episode. Also, you know, but I could see like why they do bagpipes, Scottish people, because I feel like they're probably like, it's like life. You never know when it's going to end. Like it just keeps going. You know, it's like I don't know when the song's over. I can't tell. It just is like there's no like bridge. There's no middle. There's no chorus. Like what? It's chaos. You guys play Warhammer?
Yeah.
Okay. This is a note I wrote down when I was high with AJ DeMello after he did my podcast. Subscribe. And youtube.com/epictikicomedy. And he goes, I wrote down, change the premises of a joke or the setup to find a new thing. Is that a good note? Like, probably not. But I was so high that, like, he was just telling me, he was like, let's write some jokes. Because we got high after. And like I did, I had like 4 hits out of a bong. I was done. And like he would get 3 words into a sentence, and I'd just be like, "Can you repeat that?" What? So you guys, you know what I'm talking about. How many? I don't know how long I've been going. Maybe I'll do like one more. How do you guys feel?
Time it. I feel good.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
I don't know. This is a premise, but what was I watching? I was watching some movie with someone, my family probably, or my girlfriend. I got back with my girlfriend, so that's, I don't have a joke. It's just,
Probably good.
you know, but probably good.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway, I was watching something and there was like, oh, it's Top Gun. And there's like just all the guys around the main characters are just like blonde hair, blue eyed. Like they look like Nazis, but like the Nazis who are like secretly gay. And I feel like that's the best kind of gay, because it's like there's so much not innuendo. There's so much what is the word? Oh, so much taboo for them. It's like, oh, my parents don't like this at all, but I guess you can stick it in my butt. Like, I don't. You just imagine like they're just confiding in each other about like, well, my father, I saw him shoot a gay in the face, so how do you think I feel? You know, like, now slide that cock in there, okay? like the Venus Schnitzel, you know. And then, you know, like, it's just funny to imagine them going like, 9, yeah. I don't know. It's just because they're Nazis, but also if they're gay, it's like, are you really a Nazi anymore? I don't know. We'll have to do some R&D on that joke. figure it out. I guess that's my time. Probably that's been 5 minutes.
Probably,
I'm Luke
yeah.
Soyen. Give it up for your host, Skip Bacon, who's here. Thank you. Don't.
Donate to Stab. Luke knows what's up. That's Luke Soyen. See, having that audience there, really let him just go wild with his gay Nazi accents. I feel like every week that Luke does a live set for us, he does another wild accent that I think almost always turns Russian at the end. I don't think we gave him enough time. I think it would have gone Russian if we'd given him more time. Luke Soyen, very funny man. You can see everybody's social media thingies. Are they already up? They're already up. They're on this side. They're on the side of the screen, and I'm in my little box. I'm sorry, everyone who complains about me being in the little box. I try to be as loud and big as I can. I'm doing my best to fill up my little box. But in the meantime, check out the big box and those comedians. You can also find links at Luke's Epic Tiki website, YouTube page. Yeah, I'm not great at the internet. Sorry, Twitch. Hi. You can find more information about them. You can send them some money so they can keep sending us jokes. If you'd like to request a live audience for your next set, just message me, and I will come with a mask on and laugh at your jokes, especially if they are puns. Thank you, everyone, for putting your comedy together for us this evening. Give everybody a wave in the messengers underneath of the videos so they can all know you love their jokes. I will go think about what sport I will dominate after I come out of the pandemic, because I will most definitely have a bunch of confidence left over after this that I will want to spread all over you, all fine people. Thank you for coming for comedy this evening. I hope that Gilbert's mom was able to join us. Always a pleasure. Dad, thanks for checking in and making it awkward for everyone on YouTube. I don't know, any more shout outs? Mrs. Morty looking great. I think that's it. I think that's all our shout outs. Maybe next week I'm going to check on some claymation for you at Emily Peterson. I'm going to see if Jesse Smith would like to do a set for us, because I think it's time. We'll see you guys here next week. Thanks for tuning in. Bye.